Hey, it's Greg with Mind Your Hives Beekeeping and Carajo Bee Farm. I am doing first inspections, so it's the very end of March, and so far things are looking great in this hive, or wow, in this apiary. We lost a couple, so literally we lost 2 out of 30 so far. I know these next two are active, so yeah, we lost 2 out of 30, less than 10%. Both of those were treatment-free hives. So we had set almost a quarter of the hives were treatment free. We lost 2 of the 7. But that's still really, really great. I'm really, really happy with that. But we're gonna go ahead and see what's going on. We're gonna do a first inspection of the season here. So I don't have notes off the top of my head on what this, what the genetics of this hive are or anything like that. But we've seen decent activity. In and out, and yeah, let's see what we got. Let's hope we find a queen. Let's hope we find a lot of brood. This is a little winter insulation shim that we have. Gonna be taking this off for good. All right, so it looks like we re-upped on fondant and they didn't really take it. A good sign, honestly. We used fondant this year. In years past, we've used, we've made like a candy board just with straight up sugar. You know why they didn't take any of this? Because I didn't cut a hole. Oh no, yeah, I did. I thought for a second I didn't cut any hole in this. That's hilarious. But just right off the bat, that is very solid. Every one of these frames looks packed with bees. So what we've seen in most of the other hives is the top box is where most of the activity's happening. A lot of brood up top, and then the middle box will have a little bit, and the bottom box for the most part has been relatively empty. You know what, I'm gonna switch this up. I'm gonna do this from here. A little easier for me. For whatever reason, I like, maybe it's because I'm right-handed, I like pulling from this way. So, go ahead and pull a lovely frame. Hello. All right, we got capped brood, we got drone brood, we got bees emerging. We got fresh eggs, larvae. Still some pollen left. What a great frame. All right, very good sign there. You always want to find those fresh eggs. That one, that first pull had them. Which also means queen's not far away if we're finding fresh eggs. I mean, she's been on that frame within a day or two. This frame just packed. Great brood pattern. Tell this is older brood that's... Oh, there's the queen. What's up, Your Majesty? Hell yeah. Yellow queen, so last year. Looking real good. She's long. All right, it's always nice finding that queen because now we know she is safe. I'm gonna set her aside. Yeah, I'm just gonna check 1 or 2 more frames up here. No need to check everything, but this just gives me a good idea. Oh yeah, a lot of pollen on this one. Brood, larva. So I want to check the eggs and larvae, early larvae particularly, So workers, they'll give them, I think it's 3 days worth of royal jelly. So when you find those fresh eggs, a few days later, they're gonna be swimming in royal jelly, and you wanna see a nice, yeah, so you're not gonna be able to see it here, but the larva that I'm looking at right now, very early, just emerged from the egg, and they are swimming in a really nice milky pool of royal jelly. If you're finding that very early larva, it does not have a lot of royal jelly. What that means is your bees don't have access to a good enough variety of pollen. So they need a variety of pollen in order to get all the amino acids they need to make royal jelly. So the worker bees are making that royal jelly, and you want to see really nice milky pool. If you're seeing, you know, less, and this is also that pattern recognition that we always talk about. You want to, you know, be looking at all your hives and giving a deeper look. So if you notice, man, this hive doesn't look like it has as much royal jelly going on as the other ones, then you know that there's something different. But this one's looking really great, and I can see they've got a lot of pollen that they've stored from last year. Carefully put this frame back on with the queen, back in with the queen, so we know she's safe. All right. So I am going to give just a tiny bit of smoke here just to clean this up. Just want to get rid of some of this kind of burr comb here, and I don't want it to kill any of the bees in doing so. So a little bit of smoke puts them away, allows me to do that. You don't have to, I don't always do it. So let me just pull 1 or 2 frames from the middle here and see what we're looking at. It's nice to know if you got 2 full boxes being laid in at this point. Oh yeah, nice laying pattern. All right. So I mean, what I'm looking at right now is that top box full of brood, bottom box already looking pretty stacked. So this population is gonna take off. Yeah, more capped, more larvae. Really looking nice. You can tell this frame doesn't have much on it. That one does. So you're looking at probably 3 or 4 frames here in the bottom box with brood. Not bottom box, excuse me, middle box with brood. Feeling what that's going to translate to is the bottom box being relatively empty, which it should be. Should have eaten those stores and moved on up. You want them starting at the bottom and working their way up. You don't always do it. Nice heavy box too. Wow, way bigger population down here than I was expecting. Can we see that? All right, so bigger population down here than I thought I was gonna see. I'm gonna switch to this view because you're getting some shadows. All right, so I thought we were gonna see a totally empty box down here. Let's see what's going on. Now, if you're a beginner, this is feels a little overwhelming, a lot of bees. My suggestion, just take this box off and just do this inspection 3 feet from the hive, 5 feet from the hive. Because what's happening right now is all these bees are returning. What's happening, all these bees, yeah, so they're just storing pollen down here. Got some beauties covered in pollen, fuzzy girls. Oh yeah, so this is nice. So glad to see activity. But anyway, so you got all these bees returning. It's a beautiful day. These foragers are coming back. Took the other boxes off, so that means this one is going to be where all the bees are going to go. Just pop. Calm down, babies. All right, so I'm going to take this right now. I'm going to move this box over here. All I'm doing over here is I'm just popping off the mouse guard. All right, got the mouse guard off. Get this off the bottom. I always like to look. I'm gonna put this bottom box on top, but I always like to look on the bottom here. So look at that, screen bottom over winter. Would you look at that? Over winter just fine with the screen on the bottom, no big deal. I tend to do all solids now because I make these myself and it's just easier to make them solid, but the ones I have, I keep them in use. Sometimes I'll put plywood underneath just to block. Didn't even do that, and they seem to be doing just fine. So, you know, ask 3 beekeepers, get 5 answers. Ask a beekeeper they like using screen bottom boards, and you'll get people saying they're a terrible idea, you can't overwinter. You'll get people like me that say, if you got healthy bees with a good population going into winter, you'd be just fine. All right, we got the queen here, and this was the top box. It's now going on the bottom. Let's tighten her up, make sure we're good. All right. Then we got what was the middle box, nice and heavy. Going here. That's right. And this was the bottom box. It's pretty empty. Going on top. They got some more room to grow. This is gonna make sure that they feel like they've got space. So they're gonna make sure they've got space. And I mean, in a week or so, we're probably gonna be adding supers to this. This hive is looking great. So now my job is, obviously gonna close this up. I'm gonna then take notes. Hive is booming, screen bottom, overwintered great. Found, you know, probably 10 frames of brood. I'm gonna check the genetic line. I'm gonna see where this queen came from and mark her as a very good queen so far. And know that if I can, I'm gonna try to use this hive to grow more queens. So utilizing our queen castle techniques, we're gonna try to get these genetics spread out. So really excited to split this hive, really excited to grow these genetics. And then next year I get to see if those same traits came through. I'm gonna look to see if I treated these. Like I said earlier, 25% of our hives were treatment free this year. So I'm gonna see. The hive next door, this hive right now, has been our best hive yet. Most population coming out of winter. I actually added a super on that one today, and it was treatment free. Treatment free for us means that their mite threshold never was over 6 mites in a 300 sample. So it was never more than, what is that, 2%? We only treat when we need to treat, and we set that threshold at 6 mites per 300 bee sample, and that hive never got over it, so we never treated. And those are the genetic lines that we're going for. I can get on a pedestal and talk about treatment-free beekeepers. I don't mind when they're doing it right. I don't like lazy beekeepers that are treatment-free. They don't want to check for mites. They don't want to do their due diligence. A diseased, unhealthy hive that has a ton of mites is going to spread disease to native pollinators, to native bees, and it's going to fuck up the ecosystem. And I don't want that to happen. So my goal is to not treat. My goal is to have the bees take care of the mites themselves, but I'm not just going willy-nilly about it. We're doing it selectively, and luckily we were able to do that with 25% of our hives in this apiary. I hope that number grows next year. That is ideal. That's how I want things to work. But we'll see. That's our own method. Thanks for watching. Tune in. Hope you listen to the podcast. Cheers.